Alrighty guys, how's it going? So for the majority of this video, you're probably not going to be able to see my face, so you're welcome for that. But we're going to be going over my personal hunting loadout, whether it be for a day pack setup or an overnight setup. It's pretty much the same thing, considering I tend to cover the same amount of distance. And I have had an issue in the past of accidentally falling asleep during my hunting excursions. So it's kind of, paramount that I make sure I cover my bases. And then a little funny note to start off with. This morning we had a skunk come into our backyard and almost sprayed our dog. It sprayed a neighbor's dog, so not good, not bad. It's one of the two. But I ended up dispatching a skunk this morning, so I've got to hurry up and do this video so that I can go get rid of that anyway. So starting off, the first thing that I have is my Vulcan titanium mess kit. It's really nice to have because, y'all have already seen it. Got the 750 milliliter, nesting cup, plus I think it's the 400, I could be wrong, but I think it's 400 milliliter cup underneath that, and you can always boil in the main canteen itself, plus the carry handle. This is going to be the first year that I have used this over the shoulder, but with this here chest rig and the backpack, having this tucked in my left side, it's no problem whatsoever to take and shoulder my rifle regardless of which rifle I've been using. I took and tested that out, so I'm looking forward to seeing how that goes. Might as well take off the gloves. My beautiful girlfriend took and got me these mechanics wear gloves, and I have a plastic carabiner that I attached these to here on my left side. United States sniper mittens with the wool glove liners that have the leather palms, and if it gets below freezing in a consistent temperature, that's the gloves I normally carry with me. Okay, so let's take and set this stuff aside. I still smell skunk, bro. It's so bad. Oh, and we'll put my gloves over here too. Alrighty, so when it comes to the backpack situation, it goes chest rig comes on first, backpack second, and then finally water third. We'll take it through this up here up front. I'm going to go ahead and unbuckle this chest rig. Even though it's a primary situation, we might end up getting onto that last. But yeah, the most important thing when it comes to our hunting setup is our first aid kit. So I'm going to take and unbuckle that. This is a rip away pouch, so you can take and just jerk it off. Calm your dirty minds. But yeah, you can take and rip this away and immediately have access to it. But I'm going to bring you in closer so we can talk about the individual components. Alright, so I have very much neglected showing my first aid carry whenever it comes to my videos. And so we're going to acknowledge that with this. So this is I believe it's pronounced Winrex. I will put the name of the company on the screen, but this is Winrex is the name of the company for this pouch, plus the chest rig that I'm carrying. Very high quality ripstop nylon, and it's made a great addition to to this high-speed daddy pack. But when it comes to first aid, okay, sticking to this my wool blanket, everything that I try to carry mainly revolves around getting shot. So hopefully never happens. So far it's never happened, but if you get shot, you'll be able to stop the bleeding. I have 2 packs of the bleed stop powder. This is coagulant. In this little red first aid pouch, this is just band-aids, some things for if you got blisters on your foot. Plus I've got 10 600 milligrams of ibuprofen. I've got real tablets plus hydroxyzine. The hydroxyzine is prescription that I have for my allergies. And then these are the PM and AM Tylenol capsules, plus the anti-diarrhea pills, then the tweezers. So that's what's in this old bad boy right here. Okay, so getting into the meat and taters of the first aid kit, we have a 4-inch Israeli gauze that is, that come with one of the setups that I had. And then we have a 6-inch just in case. I mean, you can never have too much stuff to like cut off bleeding. Then we have our H vents, which is the hyphen vent, so if you get shot in the lung, once again, hopefully nothing to that extent ever happens. But I will say that a lot of people kind of lean towards the idea of like nothing can ever go wrong. You could take and fall over a fallen log or tree and have a lung punctured, so having something like that could be the difference of making it home or not. So with this, we have other compressed gauze, that's fitting for a crap ton of different uses. One of the most important things that are in here is the SWAT tourniquet. When it comes to tourniquets, this right here would be your main thing. You could take and just rip this off the front, use it. But also my belt, which is by Blue Pond, which is the same company that makes the sunglasses. You can rip this off real quick. Take, and for example, if it was your leg, hopefully I can use this in the appropriate manner, but you could take and easily just rip this off, stick it through, cinch it down, and clasp it, and you have a tourniquet there as well, and you can really take and torque this thing good. So we'll leave that off for the time being. Alrighty, and then up front, aside from this Sharpie that we have, because that's for the tourniquet, so that you could write down what time that you applied the tourniquet for first responders. That gets thrown out, and you have a pair of medical shears so you can cut away clothing. Then in this pocket, you have an emergency face blanket, alcohol wipes, some more ibuprofen, and just a few more, examination gloves. So after getting into the first aid kit, we should probably start with what is on the chest rig. So we have our Holtzman knife right here attached via ribbon. Very nice knife. I've not got a chance to use this for skinning yet, but that is coming up very soon once we take and bag a couple of Bambis, and it has a ferro rod in the front pouch as well. Now, taking and opening this thing up, on the front pouch, our MX3F spotlight, very handy whenever it comes to tracking down a deer in the event that it doesn't go down immediately. And we have our Cyan Sky headlamp, which both of these we've used extensively. When it comes to our main pouch, a couple of things that y'all have not seen yet. We have our Go rangefinder. I've used this a lot, like sighting in my weapons, and you'll see it being used a lot with, like whenever we're actively hunting. This is something, I've never used a rangefinder before, but now that I've started using it, it is a very, a piece of gear that I don't want to ever hunt without again. A Koopa hand warmers. So these are magnetic hand warmers that break apart that you can take and use independently. To take and pry these away from I've had to pry these away from my mother because she has very bad arthritis with her hands, and she is she really enjoys holding these and having the warmth because it kind of alleviates a lot of the arthritis pain. So we're going to be using that inside of our gloves this hunting season. Then finally we have our Woodland Tools Company. I think you'd call these shears, but this is really handy whenever it comes to going into laurel thickets or sitting down at a hunting spot and you need to trim away any branches or brambles or briars that are in the way of your rifle or your sitting position. Like just reaching over this right here, this is a laurel. It's a very woody, thick plant. You can take and just snip away anything and everything that could be bother. And like, don't try this at home, but you can take and stick something even thicker than my thumb. I wear a large glove size, so that might be something some people consider to be, you know, like too heavy or whatever, but it makes up for its weight in gold whenever you need to use it. Here on the bottom, we have a Wooby tied down with our NRS straps. I would prefer to not get the Wooby out because you all should know what it is. It's just a slightly insulated blanket that can be tied into a poncho, like a military poncho or just an aftermarket poncho. So we're going to leave that where it is. So going into the front pocket right here, this is where we're going to start getting into some goodies. We have ourselves a nice little Coghlan sewing kit. Unfortunately, I have found myself in multiple positions where I've ripped either my pants or my jacket or something. Because before any of that stuff had ever happened, I was always like, what's the point of having a sewing kit? Like, just, you know, like say screw off, don't worry about it. But I now know that this is an actual vital piece of gear just from my time in the field. Up here, this is something that's not really that important, but I have a candle. It's good for fire making, lighting, whatever the use case may be. Then going in, we have our extendable, I call it a blowing baffle. We have a SOL roll of package duct tape that is there. And then finally on this front flip out pocket, we have 10 electrolyte pills. So this is from the company Salt Sticks. I've been using these a lot here recently, like in the gym and just like while hiking and like just, I mean, out in the woods, because I have an issue with like being low on magnesium. So these have been like paramount in maintaining my electrolyte levels. So highly recommend these. And then whenever it comes like to vitamins and such, also on the electrolyte level, I've been using banana bags. This is another like electrolyte thing, but this is like high in vitamins. This is pretty much just like sodium, potassium, magnesium, and I'm probably leaving like one or two things out. Whereas like this is mostly vitamins, like essentially like an IV in powder form. So I really like running those two together. Okay, then on the back side of things, I have in this pocket, I've got the Atomic Bear ferro rod with the tender holder, the striker, and it's got the whistle. So it's a very good combination to have. Then I have this jute twine wax infused tinder option. Then I got this 10,000 milliamp hour battery pack. That's very important for my cellular device, not just for communication, but also for recording reasons. And I have a white one that is currently plugged into my recording device. So I have two of these along with the cord always stored down low. And then in the same pocket, I always have a nice, you know, thick pack of toilet paper so that you can clean the old exit chute. Then for something we're going to be seeing here in a minute, I have 4 packs of Folgers tea bag coffee doojigs. Like I call them coffee tea bags. I don't know like what the actual classification is, but it works the same as a tea bag. You know, you just take hot boiling water, stick it in, let it steep, and you have yourself a nice cup of coffee. But that's everything in that main front pocket. Looking at this top pocket right here, we have ourselves a nice flattened out thing of jute twine plus about, I'd say, 15 to 20 foot of paracord. That's all that's in that pocket right there. You put yourself some nice wet wipes if you wanted to go the more luxurious route. when it comes to wiping. Then I'd say before we get in the main pouch, let's go into the side pockets that are insulated. Have a bottle of water. That's the only thing that normally changes. I typically take and put like a bag of snacks, like nuts, trail mix, something like that. But just for this round, I have water. Then in the other side pocket, we have ourselves our Sawyer water filter with the bag and the flushing kit. That's very important because, like, if this is an overnight bag, then we're going to need to take and filter out some water into our canteen and our water bottle, or like whatever other water holding devices we have with us. So that is a very, very important part of the kit. Oh, and then getting into the meat and taters of everything, and the thing that can also change is whether or not this ends up being a day pack or a overnight bag. So if it's an overnight bag, then we're going to need all of our sleeping arrangements. And then if it ends up being an overnight bag, due to, poor circumstances, then we'll also be happy to have them. So I like to carry a MRE because we don't have to boil water. If you fall asleep, you wake up in the middle of the night and it's like, well, Jesus Christ, I done went screwed up. Then it's easy to have that. Then we got our Zoo Believes 32-degree orange down sleeping bag. This is a very, multifunctional piece of kit because it can be used for signaling. It's a very, very bright hunter orange. It's very warm, and you combine that with a whoopee blanket and you're good down to around 15 to 10 degrees Fahrenheit, especially if you add a fire to the mix. Okay, and then coming to our cover elements, we have our One Wind half shelter, which is more than enough cover to protect yourself from the dew or anything of that nature. And then as far as like a one night or even a multi-night thing goes, you can have a fire near it. Are you going to end up getting, some burn holes? Yeah. But will it serve a survival purpose? It will. And then I have the guidelines and the stakes that come with it. They're very light. Then I have one of my Huncho ponchos. This can be used as a poncho, as a cover element, a ground sheet, and it can even be used as a hunting blind, which is a video that I'm going to show you guys in the future. Oh, and then we have our Gear Doctor sleeping pad. This is something that can be left out, like if you're just going for your day hike / day hunting setup, you can leave this out and make up for it in other areas. But I'm just including it with this because this is the same setup that I'll use if I'm actually planning on staying overnight. And I'd say the only thing left is where this is the High-Speed Daddy backpack. It comes with this changing pad for the little children, and it makes a very good waterproof barrier for sitting and kneeling. So there you go. That is my 2022/2023. So that's going to do it for this one. As always, I appreciate you taking time to watch the video. Please make sure you hit that thumbs up button, subscribe if you haven't already, share your friends, family, cousins, aunts, uncles, all that good old stuff. Check the links in the description, my other channels. Make sure you hit up my gaming channel. And go hit a sub and like on there, and then please hit me up in the comment section. So until the next one, guys, adios.